Welcome to RC 2001 Fall Semester 2026. I'm Bill Torgerson, your instructor. Just about everybody who knows me calls me Torg, T-O-R-G. That's short, my last name, Torgerson. You're welcome to call me that. So this class is asynchronous. That means we will never all jump on a Zoom link at the same time. Instead, you have assignments due most times, 3 times a week, 11:59 p.m. on the date that is listed. We'll get more into that in a second. We are on Canvas. We used to be on As You Learn. The campus is, all the courses are in the midst of migrating to Canvas. So you might have some classes on As You Learn. You might have some classes on Canvas. I taught in Canvas for the first time in App State this summer. If you happen to have gotten hold of this video without logging into Canvas, I've got this sort of, in the summer, it was tricky to get in there. They may have made it a little more smooth. appstate.instructure.com. That'll take you to Canvas. I can send you that link if you need to. So this class is actually going to have 44 people in it instead of the 22. I've merged sections 140 and 141. So if we go to Canvas, I've logged into Canvas. I'm on the dashboard. This is probably any classes that you have that are being taught on Canvas. That could be 5. That might just be this one. So I've labeled it online sections 140 and 141. So this is 140. So all of you that were in 141, I imported you into 140. And so 141 doesn't have anything in it. And I've hid that course from myself and from you, but I think all these automatically come up on the day of. So you may be looking at 141 with nothing in it. And then you also should be seeing this 140 because I added you to it, and this hopefully helps. So we're all in there, and we'll click on this course, and we'll start poking around a little bit here in a second. Really, you could, if all you did was click on assignments, you would be good. So these things toggle open and shut. So that's, I've actually gone, I think, through October, your assignments are on here. So the big news, I think, is you have an assignment due this first day of classes, August 17th. I don't actually have the directions done because you're going to respond to this. I'm going to change this to say course guide, which I'll get into in a minute. And so you're responding to this welcome video. So I don't have the directions yet because I didn't record this yet. So if we go to the next assignment, notice you have assignments due Monday, Wednesday, and that should say Friday. Got some revising to do, guys. That's why you look at stuff again. So Wednesday's assignment, this is how it'll always look. You click on the assignment. There should be a link to the directions. If it's not there, it's because I forgot to add it or I haven't got to it yet. So I click on that, and now I got Google Docs, and now it tells me how to do the assignment. And sometimes I even include a video that shows you how to do the assignment. In this case, I did that Wednesday assignment. See my picture there? You're going to have to add your picture to your Canvas profile. You actually add a little bio there, and then here it shows up here. And so this is a discussion assignment where you'll post this picture in addition to changing the picture, and you'll post a little bio on it. So that's what you're doing for Wednesday, and then just those assignments. You can always work ahead. So sometimes I hear like, I wish you'd just tell us what's due all week and not have an assignment due 3 times a week. Well, it's all here, and you can do it, except for those times like when you have to comment on each other's avatars. So if you're wanting to do the whole week's work on Monday, you're going to have to wait for some people to post to finish up your Friday work. So that's how the assignments work. That's probably what's most important to see. Okay, no textbook to buy. So I'm over here, and if I scroll down, there's a vital source section. Most of you are probably used to a lot of your classes having a textbook on vital source. When I came here the first time and was shown this, I was supposed to enter my password. I have a password that's all my App State stuff. For example, if I teach in class in person and I go to the podium and I have to log in, there's that password. That password didn't work here, and I don't know why. So I reset my password using my App State email, And I just changed that password to match all the password I use everywhere else. So I don't know if you have to do that. I did. And then once I did that, I don't have to enter the password anymore when I look at the textbook, and we're a ways off from using the textbook. All the RC 1000 and 2001 use this same textbooks, and we'll do a little bit in there. You don't have to pay for that anymore. It's already part of the class. So there's your textbook. Every once in a while also, I'll link you to a reading that's in a Google folder, but that'll be in the directions. I think you ought to check your email every day, Monday through Friday. Typically, I check it first thing in the morning. At night, I'm sitting down to unwind at 8 o'clock with the TV on, kind of watching, put a laptop, and I'll respond to emails then too. So a lot of times, twice a day I do. Weekends, maybe not, but probably you should always hear from me during the week by the end of the next day. So, maybe I check emails Monday morning, you email me late Monday morning. I don't look again until Tuesday morning. I will definitely check it if I was busy Tuesday morning before the end of Tuesday. So you'll hear from me by the end of the next day. If you don't, you can write me another one. That almost never happens. Usually the feedback is that I email you back quickly and grade your work quickly. All right, course guide. So I called it a syllabus by accident. Let's go to this pages page. This is supposed to be your home page, but I'm pretty new on Canvas. So when you log in, are you taking here? I hope so, but I'm showing you now. Before this summer, I would have called this the syllabus, but we started having to turn in our syllabi to the state. And so most of the syllabi for RC 2001, they're very close to the same. It's a little more of a official document with stuff we have to have in it. Whereas the course guide is more personalized. It's much more in my voice. It still has all that other stuff in it, but it has more. So anyway, we're calling this the course guide. And if I click on here, I have office hours. So those are going to be Tuesday in Sanford Hall. That's at the end of the Great Lawn. I don't think we call it the Great Lawn in App State, do we? But at the end of the grassy area there, Sanford 538, that's the top floor. I'll be in there from 10:50 to 1:50. So I teach an 8 o'clock class and a 9:15 class on Tuesdays. Then I'll go to my office. Some days I usually bring my lunch, but I might quickly go grab a sandwich and come back. It's never a bad idea to say, hey, I'm planning on coming by office hours, just to make sure I don't, I'm not running copies or chatting too long in the faculty lounge or the office or something. But anyway, so in person on Tuesdays. Thursday, I'm going to be online from 8 to 11. I plan on Sunday nights, Monday at the latest. I'll email out a link and say, here's my link for this week's online office hours on Zoom. And then if I need to make any changes, like I got to be out of town on Tuesday or afternoon, or, I'm going to do office hours on Friday instead of Thursday, I would let you know in that email that I send out each week, where I also preview the course a little bit. So let's do one thing about the description. If there's a spectrum that's like, I hate to write, and at the other end is, I love to write, I sort of know that most of you would rather not take this class and rather not write. But I also recognize some of you do love to write. So wherever you are on the spectrum, especially if you're further toward the I hate to write, I'd rather not write, I hope to bump you along this semester toward I love to write. And I think one way that'll happen is you'll have a lot of choices about what you're reading and writing. And I think even if writing's not your thing, there's a chance this will be one of your favorite classes you ever take at Upstate. So let's set the goal high, right, guys? 8 of the many beliefs I have about writing. Sometimes people say they just suck at writing. Writing's not their thing. I think everyone can learn to write more effectively. And of course, there are limits. So I compare this to playing an instrument, which I don't know much about, and playing a sport, which I know a lot more about. I played at a small college. I coached the high school girls basketball team here at Watauga High School for right now. So sure, we're born with a certain amount of talent. We have a height, maybe my hands are big in basketball and that matters. Same thing with writing. You're born with a certain amount of talent, but you also daily practice. How do you practice writing? You practice writing by writing and reading a lot. I think we all can get better. So there's a bunch more here about what I believe, and that first assignment will turn you into that. And then I give some tips too. So whether it's you or me, you're walking across campus. That's not a good time to check an email from me. That's not a good time for me to check an email from you. I'm going into a ball game. I'm going into practice. I'm going into work. I'm going into the grocery store. That's not when I should check emails from you. I'm sitting at my desk in my office. I've got my laptop, on my lap, and I got a notebook. I'm at home in this office that I'm in right now. I used to have a piece of paper where I'm writing down, don't forget, Bob's coming on Wednesday. Now I'm, of course, adding that to my phone and or taking a note in the Notability app on my iPad. So you just need a system, and you need to sit down, focused on work when you're reading school emails. I think, some of you are like, duh, and some of you are like, oh, yeah, that's true. I do miss a lot because I check email walking around and forget that it came. Okay, so I got some other tips there for you. I'm almost done. Super quick Google Docs tip. We're going to do a lot of work in Google Docs. I think of drafting in Google Docs and publishing to that Google site writing portfolio. So I'm going to tell you to hit the share button quite a bit. I hit share. Don't put my email in there. If you put my email in there and 84 of you do that, now I'm getting a notification every time there's a change in this doc. And, I'm getting 35 notifications that I have to click through to get rid of. Okay, so this is restricted to start with. I changed mine to anyone with a link. Appalachian is fine. And then it starts out as a viewer. Make us commenters. I probably don't need to be an editor. I don't really want to be an editor. So we'll comment on each other's docs. I'll comment on some of your docs. And then you copy that link, and that's what you're going to be turning in a lot on these Canvas assignments and discussions. So what do I mean? You're making a writing portfolio. We used to use Digication. App got rid of that. And so now I'm using Google Sites. Did that this summer. Worked great. This is my About Me page. You're going to do an About Me page. So my daughter, let's go down. There we are hiking on the AT. But so I used to coach both these guys. Now they're graduated. That's my wife, Megan. She's a realtor in town. Izzy is going to be a freshman at the University of Utah. She'll be doing that by the time you see this. I'm getting ready to drive her out. She and her stuff to Salt Lake City. That's going to take me about a week. So this is me coaching at Watauga on senior night with my daughter. She also played for me 1 year. Now she's a junior at Leeds McRae, playing basketball, sports management. Izzy, filmmaking. I have what's called an MFA in creative writing, and I have a master's in English education. So that MFA is a terminal degree. You think of a PhD as a terminal degree, but I have one in creative writing, and I also have what would you call it? Just my website. It's thetorg.com. I do a regular podcast with my sister where we read and watch stuff during the week, and we discuss that. So, we read an article about LeBron. My sister went and saw The Odyssey. I was reading this book about the writing process. So we discuss stuff that we're reading and watching. Maybe you come into some stuff you want to read or watch because you listen to the podcast, or you just like hanging out with us and talking. I have 3 books of fiction. One of them is called Love on the Big Screen. It's about a college freshman whose understanding of love has been shaped by late 80s romantic comedies. So you guys are all a year or two older than the protagonists. These are some of my favorite movies. Say Anything, The Breakfast Club, Weird Science, when I was probably pretty close to your age. I've written screenplays. I've directed independent films that showed at film festivals. I've written articles about writing and teaching, short stories, creative nonfiction. A couple poems, not many poems, but a few poems made it into print. So I do, I think of myself as a writer who teaches writing. I might be done, right? Probably close to 15 minutes on this video. Did you make it to the end? That's amazing. Here, I'll give you, this might be in the questions. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, I am excited that season 4 of Ted Lasso is coming out. Look over my shoulder. There's Ted, a cardboard cutout of Ted. So I mentioned that at the end. Maybe I'll ask you about that in that first assignment. So I look forward to working with you. Please reach out if you have any questions.